Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today we are going to review Splatoon 3. I have been waiting a long time to play and review this game. It has been about 19 months since Splatoon 3 was announced in the February of 2021 Nintendo Direct. But was the game really worth a 19-month wait? Well, you're about to find out. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? And just as a warning, before we get into the review video, for anyone who has seen my review videos in the past, I put this up for a reason. Because this video does contain spoilers for Splatoon 3's story mode. And any area in the game with spoilers, I am going to put a red border around the video. So without further ado, for real this time, let's get into it. So to start off this review video, we are going to focus on the story mode. So the story mode being called Return of the Mammalians, I enjoyed the story mode. I think this story mode in Splatoon was a bit unique compared to the others, but there were a few problems of note in Splatoon 3's story mode. The first problem I would say is that the giant wasteland area in the first Splatoon 3 trailer, I was really hoping that area would be the main focus in the Splatoon 3 story mode. But I was really disappointed when I found out that the giant wasteland in the background was not the main area the story mode is going to be focused in. Like, I did like the area of Alterna, but I was really hoping for something better. And the villain, the main villain in Splatoon 3's story mode is not DJ Octavio this time. Like, I'm happy that we have a villain that's not DJ Octavio. I do think different villains is probably the one thing Nintendo games need, but lack. Imagine a Zelda game where the main villain's not Ganon, right? Imagine a Mario game where the main villain isn't Bowser. That has been the case sometimes. Imagine a Metroid game where the main villain isn't Ridley. Well, Metroid Dread did have the main villain not being Ridley, but that's an entirely different argument. But I do think Splatoon 3 having a villain that isn't DJ Octavio managed to spice things up a bit. And I do like the bosses in this as well. Like, they do give us a chance to fight Shiver, Fry, and Big Man. Although they weren't, like, evil in the game, it was nice to be able to challenge the idols of Splatoon 3. Something that Splatoons 1 and 2 couldn't do. And I do like the Octo Expansion style mission structure in this game. But the only problem I really have with it is if you're on a shortage of power eggs, for example, like some levels you cannot enter without a certain amount of power eggs. But hopefully in Splatoon 4 that they managed to tackle this mission structure a bit differently compared to Splatoon 3. Even though I did enjoy Octo Expansion, having an Octo Expansion style mission structure was a neat callback. And of course, the final boss being different this time around is the one thing I really enjoyed about the story mode. Like the part where you go into space and you fight a giant Mr. Grizz flying on a rocket ship. I really enjoyed that part of the story mode. And being able to control DJ Octavio's robot, kind of, is probably one of my favorite details about the story mode. Like being able to control a robot, kind of. For the online, I think the online in Splatoon 3 this time was phenomenal compared to Splatoons 1 and 2. Even though the game only just came out, I do think the game lacks maps a bit. But I am hoping that they do add more maps to the game in the future. And one thing I really liked about Splatoon 3 online better than Splatoon 2 is the fact that there is a training ground you can mess around about while you wait for a match. Even though I do think Splatoon 2's queuing system was a bit boring, because you just like sat there with nothing to do while you wait for a match. And I do think Splatoon 3 manages to do the queuing system better. And the new specials that come with the weapons this time, I do think they managed to get creative with them. Like, my favourites so far being the Crab Tank, the Zipcaster, and the Reef Slider. Although it might take a while to master some weapons, I did notice a boost in the frame rate when it came to the online. When you're in Splatsville, you might notice when docked that it runs in 30 FPS, but online it runs in an incredible 60 frames per second docked. I've rarely played Splatoon 3 in handheld mode, but I haven't really noticed a performance difference in handheld mode compared to docked. Like, the online in Splatoon 3 is smooth. Unlike Mario Maker 2, where the multiplayer online is unplayable, Splatoon 3 managed to do the online right. But the only problem I have encountered with the online so far is when more than one player disconnects, that it just cancels the match entirely. So for the summary, I'm going to give the story mode a 7.5 out of 10. Because I do think the story mode this time around does manage to treat us to a different villain. But the only problem with the game's story mode really is it was disappointing that the huge wasteland area wasn't used for the game's story mode. The graphics, I'm going to give an 8.5. I'm not gonna lie, the game does look phenomenal docked. And I am really hoping if they do bring out a 4K mono switch eventually, that the graphics of Splatoon do eventually look better. The characters, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. I need to give credit to my boy Big Man, because Big Man is probably my favourite character from this installment. For content, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10, because there isn't really a lack of anything to do in the game, since there's turf wars, ranked battles, salmon run, table turf battle, and a new catalog system added to this installment of Splatoon, which they do bring a new one out quarterly, which kind of acts like a battle pass, but not quite, because at least this battle pass you don't really have to pay for, unlike games such as Fortnite, Rocket League, Fall Guys, and the upcoming Overwatch 2. Those games you do have to pay for the battle pass, but at least with the game's new catalog system, you don't. For the online, I give a 9, because the online multiplayer is smooth, like I just said. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the game online did not disappoint at all. Like, I bet a few people expected Splatoon 3 to run like Mario Maker 2, but thank God that it didn't. Because I do remember having a bad experience with Mario Maker 2's online multiplayer. Even though Mario Maker 2 wasn't bad as a game, it's just the online was. The length of the game, like, I couldn't keep track on how long the story mode was, because I've been on and off with the story mode and online, and the one thing that didn't really help at all is that I started the story mode 5 hours into the game, because I just focused on the online for the first 5 hours, and then went into the story mode. And the story mode is an average 8 to 10 hours. For the difficulty, I'm going to give it a moderate, because some levels in the story mode might be a bit difficult. For a new feature, I'm bringing in a new features to my reviews. The first new feature I'm bringing in is audience. So for the audience, I'm going to give it a 6+. Because Splatoon, as a franchise, isn't really harmful to children at all. Like, it may have guns and stuff in the game, but it's not actually bullets, it's just ink. So I am going to give the audience a 6+. And finally, for the final new feature I'm bringing into the reviews, being perks. So for the new perk system I'm bringing into the reviews, I have wanted to bring this in for a while, but for the perks, which each game gets one of these 5 perks. So the perks are Certified Gold, a game with a 10, meaning that the game is one of BB8's House's all-time top picks. The Collector perk being a game with an 8 or a 9, meaning that it's a game you should buy and keep digitally or physically. Play then sell being that you should buy the game, then sell it later on. Borrow or stream, meaning that you should borrow it from a friend or play it at a friend's house, but don't actually buy the game yourself. Or you play it through Game Pass. And Void is a game with a 1, a 2, or a 3. Meaning that it's a game you should avoid at all costs. But luckily Splatoon 3 did not get that perk. Splatoon 3 didn't quite make it to the Certified Gold, unfortunately. But it totally did earn the Collector perk. So overall, I give Splatoon 3 a 9.1 out of 10. Splatoon 3 was totally worth the 19-month wait. The online was smooth, unlike Super Mario Maker 2, which the online wasn't playable, but with more to do in Splatoon 3 compared to Splatoon 2, this game is definitely a game I will keep coming back to. And Splatoon 3 has successfully earned the title as my new favourite Splatoon. With the previous Splatoons, with Splatoon 1 getting an 8, Splatoon 2 getting an 8.7, while Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion gets an 8.9. And with Splatoon 3 being my personal best reviewed Splatoon game so far, I am hoping that this game does have a bright future ahead of it. And we do know we are getting content until 2024. So hopefully this game does get the support that it needs for the longest period of time. So guys, what did you think of my Splatoon 3 review? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another video like this one. I am still playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I am hoping to get the review for it out by the end of the year, so I can play Tarna Golden Country and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I will see you all in a future review video. BB8 out.